is that I try to inconvenience men in my daily life. And before people comment that I'm a man-hating woman and this is why men don't like me and are mean to me and this is why men hate women, it's actually not why. Because I tried to be nice to men and I tried to make them understand how their actions have consequences and it didn't work. So now I'm treating them the way they treat everyone else. The first one's very simple, and I've heard people talking about this on TikTok, and I think it's so important as a woman to start doing this for yourself and for society at large, especially if you live in a walkable city or if you're in a crowded place like an airport. You have to watch where you're going, move out of people's way. In my experience, men don't tend to do that, especially if they're walking in groups. They expect you to move out of their way, and if they're on their phone, they're not looking because they expect everyone to move out of their way. And so I don't do that anymore. Instead, I walk as straight as possible if I think that a man is going to run into me. And if he doesn't move out of the way at the last minute and runs into me, I glare at him because I think they learn. They have to learn. The next one is actually more of a movement that I'm starting with a hashtag and everything. Like it's 2016. Like I'm serious about this. And it's Manspread back. I live in New York, so I take public transportation every single day. And I have started to notice how men sit versus how women sit on public transportation. And I'll give you an example of each. Typically, women are trying to put their legs together to make themselves smaller, their bags are on their lap, to let other people sit down, right? Because it's a public space for everyone. More often than not, when a man is sitting down on public transportation or anywhere else, he's sitting like this, at least like this. Sometimes it's worse, sometimes there's a bag next to him. Either way, he's not thinking about how much space he's taking up because he's never been told he's had to. That's why if a man is manspreading next to me on the subway, get one of these, I put my knee over his leg. Oh yeah, two can play at that game. Two can play at that game. And there's a heel on my boot, so I would watch out. The last one I have for you today, like the rest, very simple, but incredibly effective. And that's just reminding men how loud they're being. Again, often something they don't think about because they've never had to, but they often should. Just last night, I was walking with my friend, leaving a concert, and there was a group of guys behind us that was yelling so loud, like for no reason. Like they were walking in a line right next to each other, and one of them was just screaming because he didn't feel like he had to be ashamed of what he had to say. Isn't that crazy? So I often in this situation will tell men, we're right here. That's a good one. Or, let's take it down a notch. So let me know if there's any I should add to my list, and let me know if you try any of these and how it feels.
All right. So she gets on camera full of pride and starts listing all the ways she goes out her way to inconvenience men. Like that's her daily goal, basically. And that's her contribution to society. Not helping people, not building something, just annoying men like it's activism. She's walking down the street. She's a guy coming instead of doing what every normal human does. Move slightly to the side, avoid collision. She locks in, goes full linebacker, and if he bumps into her, she glares like she accomplished something. Like, what are we doing? And the best part, she kicks it off with this weak disclaimer. Before you call me a man hater, I used to try to be nice and it didn't work, quote unquote. So let me get this straight. You were nice for like 5 minutes, you didn't get immediate results, and now your grand plan is declare war on the whole gender. So this is what modern feminism is now because walking into strangers and throwing shade on the subway, that's not empowerment, that's not rebellion, that's just being annoying. And you're fighting the patriarchy and you're just acting out your own frustrations and trying to get points for it online. And the funniest part is these dudes you bumping into, they don't care. They're not reflecting, they're not stopping in their tracks thinking, wow, I've taken up too much space today. Uh Thank you. Like random angry feminists for teaching me this lesson. Like, no. They've forgotten you existed within 5 seconds of you so called supposedly trying to make it like you are adding value or contributing to the society by trying to come at men and making like you giving them a life lesson or something. So you think you're a main character in some feminist revolution, but to everyone else, you're just some chick acting weird in public, and it's giving main character syndrome, but with bad energy and no plot. And it gets worse because Then you try to spin it into a cause, saying you're gonna start a whole movement. Hashtag men spread back. The whole energy, like, yeah, this is real life, by the way, right? So her brilliant idea is, if a guy's sitting on the subway and his legs is spread wide too open, like she said, she's gonna toss her leg on top of his, like it's a seat battle. So she got a boot with a heel and everything, and she really thinks this is just justice. Like, she out here, like, basically saying this is for all women crushed by your toxic thighs type vibe. So it's like weird. Like, I'm not even gonna argue about none of that nonsense she's saying, because really she's talking a bunch of nothing. And it's like, what sense does this make? What sense does she make? And look, let's keep it real. She not putting her leg on some 6'4" dude with a face tat and thinking she just gonna get away with it, like he not about to check her. Like, she aiming this energy at dudes that probably flinch, like tech bros, when you speak too loud. And let's not pretend this bravery that she got going on here, this is just selective smoke, because you picking easy targets and calling it resistance, and I'll just look at it like it's fake boldness. And then her going even further, saying there was a group of guys walking behind her being all loud, like she's noise checking people and turn around or whatever. Like, you're not solving a crisis. You just acting like a glorified hall monitor. Um, at the end of the day. Like, so you saying dumb things on the internet to basically get attention, because obviously nobody's giving you attention. But since you want to be the main character, like, you up to doing something that actually has a purpose, which really is nothing but being publicly annoying. That's it. So honestly, this whole thing just screams insecurity. You're not doing this stuff just because it changes anything. You're doing it because you're mad, and because being mad makes you feel more powerful for a second, and then you go home and you're still miserable. And that's the part she don't get. None of this is working. Nobody cares. And at the end of the day, they're not reflecting on the patriarchy. They're not going, "Wow, I learned something today." Like, they're just annoyed, and you just still a bitter woman. So who's really winning when you making your own life harder? You walking around looking for fights. You performing fake activism for clout, and you got your day scheduled around petty protests, sidewalk standoffs, subway scuffles, and social media rants. But what are you actually accomplishing? Nothing. Not one real thing at all. You're not making the world better. You're not helping women. You're not protecting anyone. You just taking your inner anger and blasting it onto strangers who didn't even do anything to you personally. And the worst part, you probably think this makes you deep, like you're part of some movement with your little hashtag, and you got a reel, and you got comments probably condoning and supporting you, but none of it means anything, because at the end of the day, you're not moving the culture forward. You're just throwing a tantrum with extra steps. So yeah, this ain't a movement. It's a meltdown. It's a public meltdown disguised as empowerment. And the people clapping in the comments, they're not helping you grow. They just as stuck as you are. But fix yourself before you try to fix society, because right now all you're doing is looking messy. But I'm gonna leave it there, family. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. On that note, family, I'm out.